So the Honolulu Caves. Let's proceed now past Hanakapiai and on up to Ke'e. Now this beach here is 2 miles in on the Kalalau Trail, open to the general public, but a little difference this past 2 years. They changed the rules for visiting Ke'e. You're now required to obtain a permit to visit this beach, and this beach is the only one on the island like that. Right off our front there, right front, is Ke'e. It's also known as end of the road. Folks used to drive up here and try to find a parking spot, and then they would not be able to find a parking spot, but park anywhere. And so it turned into kind of a mess up here. So they came up with this new park and permit system. You see the size of the parking lot there, and that gives you an idea of just how many parking permits are available. The number of stalls directly related to the number of permits available. Now this is where the North Shore begins on this side of the island, from Ke'e all the way up to Kilauea. After Kilauea, the island starts to bend a little bit to the right and become the northeast side of the island, and eventually east side. That's where Mark Zuckerberg has his property. We flew by his house earlier this morning, and it's coming along quite nicely. One last look at the Nepali coast off the left side of the aircraft. The entire Nepali stretching from Milili'i all the way to Ke'e. That's about 13 air miles.
I saw you in my dream. We were walking hand in hand on a white sandy beach of Hawaii. We were playing in the sun. We were having so much fun on a white sandy beach of Hawaii. The sound of the ocean soothes my restless soul. The sound of the ocean rocks me all night long.
Oh, we'll do a flyby of tunnels off our right front, a popular place to swim and snorkel. This is also part of Haena Beach Park. You've got the community of Haena, which is known for its temporary vacation rentals, TVRs. And so many of these homes are listed as limited liability corporations. And so you'll see a lot of these LLCs indicated on the tax map.
Rocks me all night long.
Either owned by individuals as a second home for which they use part of the time, or perhaps a group of folks who will use the property and then make it available for others through vacation rental, thus offsetting the cost of owning the property. But this area has undergone some difficulties in the past, primarily due to the weather. A very powerful rainstorm hit this area in May of 2018, and it caused this road up here to get washed out, Kuhia Highway, and these folks were cut off for 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. But the state did come in and make some emergency repairs to the road, which then allowed them to access their properties. But them and only then, it was closed to the general public for more than a year, and so that means it was closed down to TVRs. And so a lot of these properties became distressed. The companies distressed as well. But I think the pandemic funds that kind of came through for them. Plus they got disaster funds as well. So I think a lot of them did okay. Let's turn in here. This is Hanalei and Princeville off our front. Let's turn in towards Lumahai now. You can see a little bit of the brown water coming down on the Lumahai River there. So this is where the road got washed out off our right side low, and then you can also see some of the damage along the ridge line as well that occurred during that same period. During that period, that also resulted in the setting of a new world record for rainfall in a 24-hour period. So nearly 49 inches falling in 24 hours. 48 and some change. Pretty amazing. This is where they grow most of the taro for the island of Kauai. Taro is a plant that was brought by the Polynesians, and it's used to make poi. P-O-I, poi. It is the root of the taro plant that is mostly used, but all parts of the plant are edible, the stems and the leaves. The leaves are kind of tough and not edible unless they're cooked. And so they would use the leaves, wrap other things in the leaf and cook it. Meats, fish, and pork and things like that. And then by doing that, the cooked leaf at that point, it becomes edible. It's kind of like spinach. So if you like your spinach, then that's a pretty good one. I'm making myself hungry. And then poi is made from the root of the taro plant by cooking it. That softens it, and then mashing it. Kind of like making mashed potatoes. Almost the same thing, although with mashed potatoes you use milk, right? This would just be water. They didn't have milk, so. Coming up on Mount Mamalahoa now, and the waterfall streaming down from the very tippy top there. That's called Mamalahoa Falls. And this is the waterfall you can see from Hanalei when you look up this direction. The stream is called the Waioli below us.